The human mind is a complex and multifaceted aspect of human consciousness and cognition. It encompasses a wide range of mental processes, including perception, memory, reasoning, emotions, and consciousness. Understanding the human mind is a fundamental challenge in fields like psychology, neuroscience, philosophy, and cognitive science. Consciousness. Consciousness can be defined as the state of being aware of and able to think about and perceive one's surroundings and internal mental processes. It is what makes you feel like you, and allows you to experience the world subjectively. Consciousness is not a simple, all-or-nothing phenomenon. It exists on a continuum, with different levels and states of consciousness. These can range from full wakefulness to altered states, such as sleep, dreaming, meditation, and altered states induced by substances. Philosopher David Chalmers introduced the concept of the hard problem of consciousness, which pertains to why and how physical processes in the brain give rise to subjective experiences. This remains a central challenge in the field of consciousness studies. Neuroscience has made significant strides in identifying neural correlates of consciousness, which are specific brain activities or structures associated with conscious experiences. While some progress has been made, there is no consensus on a complete explanation for consciousness. Consciousness is closely tied to perception. The mind processes sensory information from the environment, and some of this information becomes conscious while the rest remains in the background. Cognition. A fundamental feature of the human mind is cognition, which includes a variety of mental operations related to gathering, processing, storing, and using information. It is crucial to how people perceive the world, interact with it, solve issues, make choices, and go through intricate thought processes. A person's cognitive abilities change over the course of their lifetime. According to Jean Piaget's theory of cognitive development, children go through various stages of cognitive development, starting with sensorimotor intelligence in infancy and progressing to abstract reasoning in adolescence and adulthood. A crucial cognitive skill is problem solving. It entails identifying a problem, specifying its requirements, coming up with potential solutions, assessing those solutions, and choosing the best one. You can approach problem solving systematically or heuristically. Making decisions involves choosing from a variety of alternatives or courses of action. Cognitive biases, feelings, and risk assessment can all have an impact. Through a lot of practice and learning, people can become experts in particular fields. The process of developing specialized knowledge and problem-solving techniques within a given field is known as expert cognition. Emotions. Emotions are complex, diverse psychological experiences that are fundamental to how people behave, think, and interact with others. They play a crucial role in the formation of our perceptions, choices, and reactions to the environment. A common definition of an emotion is a combination of physiological reactions, subjective feelings, cognitive assessments, and behavioral expressions that happen in response to a stimulus or a situation. They represent how our body and mind react to different internal and external stimuli. According to psychologist Paul Ekman, there are 6 basic emotions that people of all cultures experience and express. These fundamental feelings include joy, sorrow, rage, fear, disgust, and surprise. They act as the building blocks for a variety of other complex emotions. Humans experience a wide range of complex emotions in addition to their basic emotions, which are frequently combinations or variations of one another. Love, resentment, guilt, shame, pride, and empathy are a few examples of complex emotions. Social and cultural factors have an impact on these feelings. The body responds physiologically to emotions. For instance, a person's heart rate may increase, their adrenaline levels may rise, and their muscles may tense up when they feel fear. These reactions set the body up to respond to perceived threats or difficulties by taking appropriate action. The human mind contains complex and potent elements called emotions. They influence our thoughts, behaviors, and social interactions, and research into them has broad ramifications for sociology, psychology, and other disciplines. Improving self-awareness, mental health, and interpersonal relationships all depend on an understanding of emotions. Memory. Humans can encode, store, and retrieve information from past experiences thanks to the crucial and complex cognitive process known as memory. It is fundamental to learning, making decisions, solving problems, and living daily life. The process of transforming sensory data into a format that can be stored in memory is known as encoding. It entails converting data into a format that the brain can understand, like doing the same for spoken words or turning a visual scene into an image in the mind. Information is encoded and then stored in memory for later retrieval. It is believed that long-term memory has an almost infinite capacity to store different kinds of information, such as facts, concepts, events, and skills. Accessing and bringing back into consciousness previously stored information is the process of retrieval. It entails looking for and bringing back particular memories from both short and long-term memory. Working memory is a type of short-term memory that manages and temporarily stores information required for tasks like comprehension, decision-making, and problem-solving. It is a system with a constrained capacity that handles information processing in real time. There are many different types and systems of memory, each with their own special traits and purposes. Memory research is still a hot topic in psychology and neuroscience because it is crucial to learning, problem-solving, and daily functioning. Perception. The process by which the human mind interprets and makes sense of sensory data from the environment is known as perception. It involves the brain's capacity to coordinate and transform sensory input into memorable experiences, enabling people to engage with and comprehend their environment. Specialized receptors in sensory organs like the eyes, ears, skin, tongue, and nose detect and send sensory data to the brain. For instance, photoreceptor cells in the retina of the eye and hair cells in the inner ear both detect vibrations in sound. Both bottom-up and top-down processing are involved in perception. Beginning with unprocessed sensory information, bottom-up processing builds up to create a perceptual experience. Contrarily, top-down processing entails interpreting sensory input using prior knowledge, expectations, and context. The brain arranges sensory data into patterns that are meaningful and coherent. For instance, proximity, similarity, closure, and continuity are concepts from Gestalt psychology that explain why we perceive objects and scenes as whole, cohesive entities rather than as discrete parts. Infants and children experience significant development in perception as they learn to process and make sense of sensory information. Perception is fundamental to how people experience and engage with their environment because it depends on sensory modalities, cognitive processes, prior knowledge, and context. Neurobiological basis. The term, neurobiological basis of the human mind, refers to the biological and physical mechanisms in the brain and nervous system that underlie a variety of mental functions, such as cognition, emotions, perception, memory, and consciousness. The study of the structure and function of the brain at various levels is necessary to comprehend the neurobiological underpinnings of the human mind, which is a challenging and ongoing endeavor. The processing and integration of information from the environment and the body occur in the brain, the main organ of the nervous system. It consists of countless interconnected regions and a colossal number of neurons, each of which performs a particular function. The fundamental components of the nervous system are neurons. Through specialized connections called synapses, they talk to other cells and to one another. Neurotransmitter release across synapses allows for the communication of information between neurons. Chemical messengers called neurotransmitters carry signals between neurons. They are essential for many mental and emotional functions. Serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrine are some examples. Neurons in the human brain connect to form intricate neural networks. These networks are in charge of many cognitive processes, including language processing, memory consolidation, and emotion control. fMRI and other functional neuroimaging methods aid in locating and analyzing these networks. The vast and complex field of study known as neurobiology aims to understand the neural underpinnings of various mental functions and behaviors. The relationship between the brain and the mind is increasingly better understood thanks to developments in neuroscience and technology, which have implications for both fundamental research and clinical use. Consciousness, cognition, emotions, and various mental processes are all part of the complex and dynamic phenomenon known as the human mind. Both biological and environmental factors have an impact on it, which is crucial in defining our uniqueness and the human experience.